So what part of the debate are you actually interested in?
Well, just sometimes I like debate between atheists and Christians. Most of the time represent Islam, but I know a little bit of Christianity too.
I have 20 minutes. You should know that. Since you're a Muslim and we are atheists.
Yeah, but I grew up with Christians too, so I have a little bit of a background around it.
Oh, you can use that knowledge when a Christian joins here. So, what do you say to atheist people? How do you invite them to religion, or do you invite them to your religion?
Well, it's the idea itself of atheism. I can understand it, but it's based on not very solid background.
Okay, what's that background?
Yeah, for example, one of the most, let's say, sources of atheism, they're gonna start giving you, for example, the Book of Darwin. Am I right?
Really?
Yeah, that's most of the people I debate with. They tell me like, look at the Book of Darwin. He explained the evolution, this and that. But Darwin is a Christian and a very religious too. If you read the actual book, you will find him mentioning God like
Okay.
90% of the time.
So, the title of this table was Atheist's Corner. Mostly I use such titles. And many people know that we are atheists here. We are here for 2 years on High Local. And I have never seen any atheist who uses Darwin's books to prove atheism.
Oh yeah, look,
Never,
I saw
ever.
them. I don't know, like I saw a couple of them in the tables and in real life too, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and look, if it's on the belief of like scientific belief, we know that let's say an accident can't happen twice. Am I right?
Accident cannot happen twice?
Yeah,
It
there's
can.
a
Why not?
yeah, it's actually a scientific belief. In 2014, they said as the thing that happens, it cannot happen twice as an accident. It have to be a set of rules that have to be aligned again, which sometimes it doesn't. For example, let me give you another example. Like for the Earth itself, it have the you know it's on the distance, the correct distance. That's not too far to be too cold, not too close to be too hot. At the same time, it have the same perfect aligned atmosphere to actually sustain the water and the breathing air, oxygen, and enough hydrogen in the air. And they do not collide to actually become water. So we don't actually breathe the water, we just breathe the oxygen
Yeah,
for some reason.
but that doesn't mean it was put there by someone. Yeah, it has the atmosphere, it has the liquid water. Just because it's in a distance where it allows it to be liquid. That's all. So you can't say, hey,
Yes, but
look, someone must have put it there. That's just an assumption coming later on what you observe. By the way, that could be true, and that can even be true, but that doesn't mean it's true. It may be false. So if I say someone put Mercury, the first planet, in that location to fry it, to make it so hot, because a god hates that planet. That's why he put it there to burn it all the time. And what's the evidence? We can observe, we can measure the temperature on Mercury. Voila. If I make such a claim, if I have such a belief, that would be questionable. I could use to say, look, it's in a really good location. If it was further, it couldn't burn.
it's not about that. It's too perfect to be an accident. Like, if you
It's
actually
not
discuss on
perfect,
Earth
Loki.
itself,
It's not.
if we, it is like think about it. Like, just try to
Think of,
see like the seven planet that we have in the solar system. Maybe the millionth planet around us. We have named millions of them. None of them have the same consecutive accidents to actually sustain life.
no problem, life is just result of some things, and you can't say that, oh, it's planned by someone. We don't
It have to
have
be.
what is in Jupiter. We don't have what's going on Mercury. We don't have what's happening on Venus. So all of them have different conditions. We don't have them. And they don't have what we have. So what?
No, actually, if you go, for example, for Saturn and let's say for Venus, they have some actual things that they look alike, but at Earth, there's nothing, like complete none. Most of them planet gas. We are actually rocky planets, as Earth itself. Like think about it. We accidentally went to the green zone where life can be sustainable. We accidentally have enough water to actually to drink and swim and sustain life in it. We accidentally have animals in it, accidentally have trees, which is the most rare thing in the entire universe because we never found trees, wood
Loki,
in any other planet.
you can cherry pick any planet and you can find rare things. There are planets where it's raining diamonds. Raining diamonds.
Isn't rare. It's only on Earth because diamonds need just a pressure and carbon, which we can find carbon in every single planet. It's just
Yeah, but
a
you don't
line.
find planets where it's raining diamond. There are methane lakes, seas on other planets. So we don't have those things. And you can cherry pick any planet, you can cherry pick any property of that planet, and you can say, hey, look, this is unique, this is rare, or whatever.
No. There's difference between rare and unique and impossibly unique. Because Earth does have everything is impossibly unique for any other Earth
Nope.
in any universe.
We have already discovered many planets where they have liquid water. So
Liquid water doesn't mean nothing. Like it really mean nothing. Like we have on the solar system a planet entirety of water, frozen and liquid.
okay, so
But here's the continuous part of it. You don't have that much of a continuous accidental creation.
okay, so I can make the same argument for God. So you look at the planet Earth, you say a lot of things are so perfect that I can't imagine that it exists accidentally. What if someone claims that your God cannot exist accidentally because it's perfect? But you believe that your
Well,
God exists by itself, there's no cause of your God. But if I ask, hey,
of
do you think your
course.
God is perfect? You will say, yeah, it's perfect. And if I ask you, do you think your God exists accidentally? Probably you'll say, no, it just exists. No explanation, no cause. So that means something can exist just like that.
Well, actually, no. The thing is,
No?
the definition of God and the creation is a different parts of the topic. For example, like why there's have
Discussing
to
that.
be something created God. It's going to be an endless loop.
No
For example,
problem, no
I'm gonna
problem.
tell
We can go endlessly, and we don't have to go. You're the one who's starting the loop. I
no,
don't have to
actually,
go.
there's
We can
no
just say, okay, universe is perfect. Okay, that's it. No cause, no explanation. That's it. Stop. But you're not
no,
stopping.
there no. Even in science, there have to be an explanation for everything.
Then what's the
But there's
explanation of your
something have to
God?
start it. Dude, here's the start. Here's the begin and the end.
But
Like
that's the
where's
problem, Loki. You're not following the rule that you're creating. You're saying that we should start from somewhere. We can't go and
yeah.
ask cause and cause and cause because it will create an infinite regress. Let's shake hands and let's agree. And when you look at this universe, you're seeing perfection. You're saying, oh, this cannot be accidentally. Okay, no problem. It's to you perfect. Okay, let's stop here. Let's say that it starts from here. Let's start here. But you're saying, oh, no, wait. I think this cannot exist by itself. There must be someone. Okay, then. then why are you breaking
No,
your
it's
own rule?
contradictory itself. Look, it's contradictory. I'm gonna explain
You're-
why. Imagine a book. The book is the entire story. You're gonna start from page one, from the first word. The first word is going to be God, who created earth and heaven and whatsoever. So why there is something have to be before that?
Yeah, that's the problem. If the first page is universe, I can ask the same question. Why you should go back? You don't have to go because there's no other page. It depends on what word you put. If you put universe there, then there's nothing before universe. But you jump one step further and you say, "Oh, let's put God in the first page." But we don't see God. We don't
We
have
didn't
evidence
put
for God.
God. We didn't put God. God
You
put
did
us
it.
to it.
No,
Like
you
the
didn't.
understanding. Look, the understanding of belief itself, that you have to rely on sources that have to be believable. It doesn't have
Believable?
to be logically inherited.
Yeah, but something believable to you may not be believable to me, A- and and your belief is not believable for me.
Yes, this is the thing. So you have to rely on some logical evidence.
Okay, what's that?
Yeah, the idea that, first of all, we both of us agree that there's have to be a beginning, right?
Beginning of what?
Of the universe.
When you say beginning, what do you mean exactly?
Let me give you an example. You believe in the Big Bang, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. As Muslim, we also believe that there's have to be a way of creation. Scientists said that it might be the Big Bang. We Muslims kinda agree of the Big Bang, but we agree that the Big Bang became by God. Like before the Big Bang, like what was it before? Like what actually made the whole universe become a Big Bang, and there is something called space, and every single star aligned, and boom, there's stars. Like what happened? What actually, let's say, lighten up the fuse of the Big Bang?
Yeah, I can ask the same question. What made God create other things? What made God start thinking? What made God so powerful? I can also ask these questions, but you will say those questions don't make any sense.
No, actually, those do make sense
Okay.
because God wanted.
God what?
Just God wanted. The thing is,
God
look, the idea
wanted?
of
Okay, I
power.
can also say that the universe expanded.
No, you can't say the universe expanded because there's no fuse to it.
There's no
Universe
fuse.
isn't.
The fuse was inside the universe.
What is the fuse itself? For example, like,
Just
was there a
energy.
mind to
Universe
it?
is made of energy. Energy
Energy
cannot be
from what?
created and cannot be destroyed. It's a physical law.
Yeah, but energy from what? Like, we believe
What do you
that
mean
there
from
was
what?
nothing, just a small place, and then bam. Like, why
Wait.
didn't
A
actually
small
erupt it
place.
in a certain time?
Yeah, why God started creating things is also another question. So asking questions is not solving the problem. You should know that.
No, actually, there is the answer for why we got created, so we can worship Him. Like God want to be worshipped. Like, where is the point that doesn't make sense in it?
Okay, so you believe there's something and he started doing something by itself. So that means something happened by itself. You don't need any other thing, any other cause. But when it comes to
No,
universe,
there have to be
you're
something.
saying, wait, the cause must be external, it cannot be internal. But the singularity was full of energy. Every bit of energy in the universe was in a single point. It was there. It just
Yeah, of course,
started
because the scientists.
expanding. How and why? Okay, it's a question. Maybe scientists they don't have good answers for the question, but you can just say it just did it. It expanded.
Yeah, look, the idea is how they actually find out that it was on a singular point, because there is a speed for the space. Space is like expanding. When you like having a rubber and you're trying like to expand the rubber, yeah, this is how space is. So there's an energy pulling it out. This is the Big Bang. Okay, so if it's actually expanding, then it was shrinking before,
It was
or it was
shrinking
shrunk,
before.
if I should be grammatically correct, which means in singular 1 point, let's say 1 atom size or whatsoever they actually discovered. But here's the thing, like, they said that it was in that point of singularity for God knows how many years. Why did it expand now? If there is no God, there's no fuse to it. There's no one say, "Let there be light." Why did it erupt now?
That's a
Why
question,
didn't just
Loki. That's a as I said, that's a question. And questions are not arguments, okay? And science is honest, and when they don't know the answer, they say we don't know the answer. But not knowing the answer of those questions doesn't make your religion correct. Also doesn't make it false. But you can't say, hey, look, they don't have evidence or answers for these questions, therefore my religion is true, is unfair.
No, I didn't mean that because they didn't actually find out what happened next. Does that mean that my actual religion is actually correct? No. The idea is if you actually can detect, actually, it's impossible to detect what happened because we rely on the memory of light. Because light carry memories and pictures, but we can't have pictures before the light itself. So there is no way you can actually discover that. But in any singular way, there have to be fuse, and we both agree on that. If it's start on singular, there have to be something that actually made it erupt to the Big Bang.
Yeah, that's an
So
assumption that you cannot prove. You're assuming that because it was full of energy, that single point. So
but it
the energy
stayed.
was
It
there.
stayed.
It
Dude,
stayed
it
what?
stayed. Didn't erupt for a while, and then it
Oh no, you
erupted.
can't say
The
that
idea.
it didn't erupt for a while. You can't say that because there was no time at that point.
Yeah, but the scientists actually said that there was something like a cool down. Why there was a
Cool
cool
down.
down?
That's one of the hypotheses. You can't say that, oh, that's what they, that's how they explain Big Bang. No, it's not true. They have a lot of hypotheses that they don't have good
Then
evidence for it.
how can you explain the idea that there was an energy from the start?
Again, like, just because you cannot explain everything about the universe, that doesn't make your religion true. So that's
No.
Yeah.
This is
What do you mean
just
this
a
is?
runaway. I'm gonna tell you why.
No, that's not a runaway
No,
look. That's being honest. We don't know the answers. That's period.
we don't know the answer because look, we know it. The
You
idea
don't know
that
it. You assume it.
no, it's not assuming
It's
because think
assuming.
about it.
You're
Think
thinking
about
about it.
look how many things that cannot be aligned and saying it as evolution slash accident. Like there was a singular point. Where is the energy came from? We don't know, but maybe there's a God. Then there's a Big Bang, aligned stars, planets, black holes, and nebulas and whatever it is in the universe. And there's the Earth, aligned in the green line, with an atmosphere and water and wood and bacteria that actually evolved to dinosaurs, from dinosaurs to humans. You see so much.
Because it's too big.
So
The
much to
universe is
tell
very
me
big.
that God didn't interfere in it. There's have to be a divine intervention in the middle.
Divine intervention. We don't see, unfortunately, divine intervention, Loki. There are a lot of times that we could expect, and we are expecting that we wish that there's a God and He intervenes, but it's not happening. Again, you're just explaining something that you don't know by assuming something. And it's comforting. I know that. I understand that. Oh, and once I was doing the same thing. I was explaining, I was filling the gap with God because it was so suitable. And it's easy, so easy. I don't know the answer. Oh, wait. The answer is God. God did it. Who made the God? Oh, no one. It's so easy, you see.
Because he's
That's
the
the
beginning.
runaway.
Like,
That's the runaway
wait,
also.
why does it have to be someone who made God? And if someone made God, then who made
Because
the guy who made God?
it's
And
coming from you. Something cannot exist by itself is your way of reasoning.
no, the universe cannot be exist by itself.
Why not? Why not?
God is the existence itself. Let me tell you something.
Universe
Like
is the existence itself. I can, you see, run away like this.
that's not a runaway. He's God. He's
It's universe.
the only. He's the
Universe is the
only.
only.
He's the one and the only, which
Universe
means
is
he's
the
the
one and
beginning and
only.
the end.
Also, universe is the beginning and the end.
No, it
Why
can't be.
not?
Let me tell you
Why
why.
not? Why not?
Because there is a beginning to everything. There's the point one, which is God. You
Okay,
can't
the
be telling
beginning
me
is
no.
the
There's
universe.
minus one. Minus one. Like what is it?
We
If we
are
go
not
into
going
a
there.
line, like Point 1 is God. Point 2 is universe. Point 3 is like humanity, and forwards whatever is gonna come next.
Point
Why
1
should we go?
singularity, point 2 Big Bang, point 3 galaxies and other things. So
No, you can't actually say singularity is point 1 because
Why
who
not?
created singularity?
who created God? You can't also say that the point 1 is God. Who created God?
It doesn't make sense, man.
It doesn't
Singularity
make
is supposed to be
sense
having
when you
energy.
say who created the singularity also. Because
Singularity
it's the
have to
point 1.
sustain energy to actually make the Big Bang. How did it sustain the energy to make
Oh,
the Big
how
Bang on
God
its own?
sustains energy to create universes.
Because he can create.
Because singularity can have energy. You see?
Singularity can't have energy if there is no aligning to the energy
God
itself.
cannot have energy if there is no Father God and Mother God giving energy to the junior
No,
God.
why does
You
it have
see?
to be that?
Why
Dude,
does
he
the
created
singularity
the
must
energy
need
itself.
another thing from outside?
It's not outside, it's the creator itself. Are you
The
telling me that
singularity
there's a
is the
human?
start of the creation itself.
Dude, it's the idea itself. You're telling me that there's a human who have the most advanced ideas and technologies that anything can actually sustain a life for 100 years and even more. And there's no God in it, just evolution.
I don't know. Maybe it's not only evolution, but you're assuming a lot of things, and it's easy to understand. But you're not providing
No,
it.
look,
You're just
the
saying that look
idea,
at this universe. Things seem designed, cannot exist by itself. Okay, I can look at your God, and I see your God is perfect, and then I will start thinking like you, the way you think. Oh wait, God cannot exist by itself. It's too perfect. I can
dude,
do the same thing with your
perfection
God.
itself, the idea of perfection itself doesn't need anything to sustain him. This is the idea of perfection.
Doesn't
Why
need
does
what?
something need to be sustained when it's perfect?
Then yeah, apply the same logic for this universe.
Why should I apply? I'm Muslim. I believe God created it. Why should I apply it on the same idea?
You're looking at this universe and you see perfection, and you're saying
I
that
don't see
if something is
perfection.
perfect,
No,
oh,
I don't see perfection. No, man. Of course,
you're just
God is the only
explaining
perfection.
the universe in a way that it seems like perfect.
It's perfectly created, not accidentally created. There's the idea
Perfectly
here.
created, but not perfect. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, the idea perfectly created, which means there is something sustaining the perfection itself.
Okay, someone is sustaining God also.
Why should God be sustained when He sustained everything?
Oh, you don't know whether he's sustaining everything or not. You're just assuming that he's sustaining
How
everything.
you know that God is need to be sustaining?
Oh, I don't know that I'm going with you because that's how you behave.
No, you have to explain the
in
idea.
your
I told
thinking.
you, like, why God cannot be sustained because he's the sustainer. He's the one who sustained everything to
Because
point of
he's
perfection.
perfectly created
How he perfectly created? You need to
by
support this idea.
by another great creator,
And who's that? Another great creator? Can you give him a name?
bigger God,
Yeah, bigger God. Who will sustain bigger God?
another bigger God.
You're going on a loop in this way.
No, it's not a loop. I'll stop whenever
Then it doesn't make
whenever I
sense.
want.
It
What?
doesn't make
Yeah,
sense
you
then.
see, it doesn't make sense,
Your
Loki.
theory. No, it's your
Stop in
theory.
this
It's not
universe.
mine.
Don't require any sustainer or creature. Just say, okay, probably that's what it is. Maybe there's nothing outside. If one thing
No,
can
it has
exist,
to be.
Loki, here's the rule. If one thing can exist with no cause, with no creator, then another thing can exist in the same way. And we have one thing that we can observe, which is the
Dude,
universe.
we don't believe that something be created without God. We don't believe in that. So
Okay,
you
okay,
are
then
trying
who
to.
created God?
Why should be someone created God?
You're
God
saying
is
that
the creator.
something
I told
cannot
you.
exist without a creator. That's you are
Dude,
saying that.
let me align it to you. Nothing can be created without God, without
Without
the
God?
creator. And God is the creator. Why should be something created God?
Okay,
It's not
where this
aligning
rule
with the
comes
idea.
from? No, Loki. You are creating a definition, and you're saying that must work in this way. Okay, where this rule comes from, where this knowledge comes from?
Where this knowledge comes from?
Yeah.
It's by the evidence that actually have been brought by all of us. Like it's too perfect to be sustained alone.
But
So it must be a creator.
you're saying like that's what I said. When you look at this universe, you're saying it's too perfect. When I say okay, God is also too perfect, then someone must create God, and you're saying no,
Too
no, 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 no,
perfect to
no.
be sustained alone. You can't actually
Too
take the half the
perfect
sentence and
to
apply
be
it.
sustained. Yeah, God is too perfect to be sustained. Therefore, someone must sustain the God.
And by what you actually applying this theory?
But by what you said just seconds ago.
No. I told you God is perfect.
Yeah,
And he
and you said this
perfectly
universe is also too
sustaining the
perfect.
universe. No. This is my theory. God is perfect and he's sustaining perfectly the universe. You're saying that God is perfectly sustained. Comply your theory. Don't throw it at me.
You're
Give
also
me
proving
evidence by your
that
theory.
God exists without giving any kind of evidence, Loki. Since you're not
Yeah,
giving any
he's the
evidence, I will
creator.
not give. He's the creator.
Like what?
Is just an assumption that you're assuming that there is a creator and you're saying that there's the creator. All these things are assumptions. You didn't give me any evidence. You're saying that I think this universe must be sustained. That's
I
an
told you it's
assumption.
because too perfect. The idea it's too the evidence is the universe is too perfect. It can be accidentally.
Yeah, God
It's even
cannot be by
mathematically wrong.
itself also. God cannot exist by himself also. Therefore, there
Why?
must be a
Can you
creator.
give me the evidence?
Yeah, your evidence.
Why he
God is
can't?
too perfect.
Yeah, it's too. He's perfect. Then
He's too perfect. Yeah, can't exist by
no,
itself.
he's not too perfect. He's the perfection itself.
Yeah, universe is the perfection itself also.
Yeah, then no. It's not the perfection
It's
itself.
perfection.
The
Look
idea of the
how
perfection.
diverse it is.
being-
So, like, if it was not too perfect, like you couldn't have all kinds of things in it. Inside, there's life, there's non-life. There are different kind of planets, galaxies, and everything you can imagine. So it's too perfect. It's
The idea of
perfect. It's
perfection.
perfection.
The idea of perfection is aligning everything in everywhere. You can
Everything
find
everywhere.
everything in everywhere in the universe. You can find that. You can go to Saturn and say like there's no oxygen, then it's not too perfect. You can go to the universe. No, it's actually too cold, so then it's not too perfect. No, the perfection
And
itself. Then you have everything in the same thing.
you have
Which
everything
God?
in the
God
same
have
thing.
life, death,
Okay.
powerful, almighty, all knowledge. Like when
Ooh.
you say God, He's almighty, all powerful, all knowledge, all seer,
Then
and
all
everything.
evil
Everything.
must be inside God also. So to me, it's not perfect. If something is too good, too powerful, or the most intelligent, or all intelligent, but at the same time, it must be the most stupid being ever. You said includes everything.
Stupid is the opposite of perfection. That's
Opposite of
actually,
perfection.
yeah, stupidity is the opposite. Like
What
when someone
about
is stupid, isn't
being
perfect.
evil?
Is that's also not a perfection? It's actually the opposite of perfection.
Opposite of
You
perfection.
opposite.
So you
You
cherry
are
pick
giving the
what is
opposition.
perfect for yourself. Okay, I got it.
No. God who actually put what is
Uh,
perfection for himself. In Islam, God gave himself
this
99
there
names.
can be
In his
beings.
99,
There can be beings who are perfectly evil.
beings perfectly evil. Like what?
Yeah, like let's say X.
A what?
I can create my imagination is so vast. So I imagine a being which is perfectly evil.
You mean Satan?
No, I don't mean Satan.
Then
And we can call different names. Doesn't matter.
that's your own belief.
Yeah, my own
You can
belief, like
do.
your belief. You believe that there's something perfect, but not those bad, features. You just eliminate them. And I create another imaginary thing, and I believe it's perfectly evil.
Dude, it doesn't make sense. You're
Yeah, it
aligning
doesn't make
something.
sense.
I'm gonna tell you what. You're aligning something that isn't in the same structure of idea. For example, we are calling the perfection itself. You tell me that he's not evil. Well, yeah, of course, because perfection doesn't mean that you have to be evil. Well, he's
Doesn't
not
mean
stupid.
it
Well,
doesn't mean also you
yeah,
have to be good. There's no such a
it doesn't
rule.
mean have to be good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but God sustained his name of perfection that having all good.
That's one attribute maybe humans give to the God concept. Maybe there is a creator of this universe, okay? Maybe it's not that
Okay.
much good. Maybe there is too much evil in it also. You don't know that. We don't know that. No one knows
Well,
that.
depends on where you view the name good. That's actually a very good point because think of it for example, in many civilizations, okay, some people view death as something horrible, right?
Yeah.
Change the place of the death. For example, in battle, that's honorable, that's very good, and every man actually want to actually die in battle for his country whatsoever in many civilizations, which means it's good. So it depends on when you view the idea of
We
good.
don't have
Some
to
people,
discuss what is good, what is bad right now. I think we can agree on many things about morality. It will be useless for our God debate. So, but again, the creator can be like let's say we are on the same side when we say good and bad, okay? Or good and evil. So there
okay,
can be a creator which can be evil also. There's no rule
yes,
that a creator cannot be evil.
in terms of a human evil, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, in terms of human good also, your God is good, and it's also in terms of human.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's no such a rule that a God must be all good. There's no rule.
No, he can be all good and all evil. It's normal. It's
Oh,
God.
it's
You're
normal.
talking about.
Okay.
You can actually think about it from a second. He's not a human. You can't apply the human rule on a God. He's the creator. So how
Now
you
you're
apply human?
saying that it can be all good and all evil at the same time?
Yeah. For example, he can give all good things to one human, and he can put all bad things in one human. So he's all good on a certain right, and
Mm.
all bad on a certain right.
And do you think that that's perfect?
Well, yeah. The perfection is
Really?
having everything in a single attributed
That's what I said.
body. So
You
yeah.
didn't accept that in the first place, and now you're accepting that.
The idea of aligning human ideology on a god, it's different a lot.
Mm. You speak
This is
like
the thing.
God is your friend. Maybe there is a God. Maybe you're right. Maybe God is very similar to humans.
Well, no,
No,
because we view life way too much to be actually thinking in the same as God.
we do life what?
For example, some of us is afraid of death, right? God is death itself, so why he's afraid of? We are afraid of
Oh,
bad things. God is all good and all
there's
bad. Why
no
we should?
there's no
Why should
also
we act?
rule that God must share all human properties. I didn't say that. I didn't claim that.
You said that God is some part human, so how we can actually acknowledge that?
Can be similar to humans doesn't mean it's a human.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we are intelligent, and I don't think you will say God is not intelligent, right?
He's all intelligent. He's
Yeah,
the
you see,
most.
so that's a similar property. And God is all knowing. We also know things. God is
Yes.
all loving. We also love. We also create, in a sense. The way that God shapes the planets, you believe, we also shape things. It's also like a creation. That's also
Yeah,
similar.
it's different because God creates from nothing, but we have to do a thing to make something, which is a bit different.
Then you're contradicting the creation story of humans. Like God created humans from the mud, so the God is turning mud into human. So we do similar things. We shape things. We shape metal. We make machines. God
No,
shape
I'm
mud
not
makes humans.
contradicting. I'm not contradicting because we are aligning that God created universe. So
That's
where did
another
He
thing.
came from?
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. But when you talk about the creation of human, according to your belief, God created humans from the mud. Yeah,
Yes.
mud exists there. Maybe God created mud out of nothing.
It,
I don't know
it's
that.
the exception. It's the exception, not the rule. The idea that God can create from nothing and something. So why
Yeah, God can also create things from the existing material or the material that he created already. So that's also a type of a
yes,
creation. So that's what I meant.
yeah,
Anyway,
that's type.
so
When I
what?
said God can create from nothing, doesn't actually mean that he cannot create from something.
Yeah. So that's one property that we don't have. We cannot create from nothing. Yes, we agree. But in the end of the day, I'm trying to say that we have a lot of similarities between your God and humans.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a useless point. But yeah, when it comes to the arguments for God, they're not powerful arguments for me. The way that you try to explain this universe and with another unknown thing, but when it comes to God, you're saying no, there's no explanation. We don't have to explain that because it's the starting
No. Look,
point.
sometimes it doesn't have to be the explanation too complicated, just simple as it is. For example,
Yeah,
if I'm going to tell you, like, where is this, for example, pants came from, I'm going to tell you cotton. And that's it. It's simple answer. Original source of that pants is cotton. It's fiber. It's whatever it is. So when we say God, he said like he's the beginning. When it's
yeah.
simple and yet
And we
complicated.
have a
Why?
simpler thing than God, which is the universe is everything that exists, no cause. Everything starts from this singularity, the Big Bang. That's all. You see, that's simpler than God.
Look, if we go deep down with the idea of the universe, it's way too simple to actually be like that. Why? Because the idea itself, there's no fuse to it. Like there was energy. Okay, where was the energy came from? Yeah, we don't know. How did it exploded? Yeah, we don't know. Was it there all the time and didn't explode? Yeah, we didn't know. Did it come from nothing and then explode in the same second? Yeah, we didn't know. You see how much like when you go deep down, but when you actually explain God, that created the universe, like how the universe came from. Yeah, from God. Where God
God,
came
that's
from. He's the
called God
beginning.
of gaps, and the first thing that you said is argument from ignorance. You don't know how universe started expanding is, yeah, something that you are not able to explain, and you're filling the gap with something unknown, which is your God. And all those are logical mistakes. And again,
No, like
if I ask the question, who created your God, is also another logical mistake, by the way. I'm not asking question because I believe that your God has a creator. I already don't believe in any God. I'm trying to show you that asking the question doesn't bring anything to table. Asking who created the universe is also an illogical question because you don't know whether the universe has a cause or not. Because you already believe that one thing can exist with no cause, and the universe exists, therefore, universe may not have a cause. Also, a logical argument if you accept that there is a God.
the idea is simple by the idea of what is the creation of God and why God is the beginning is because the chain. Like if we imagine the idea of this universe as a domino, right?
Okay.
It starts by something and it's going to end by something.
Okay.
Yeah. But this chain have to be actually someone pushing it.
Okay.
Like the
I
domino.
agree. Let's play that game. Okay. So let's suppose there is a creator created two
Yes.
gods. Then those two gods created another two gods, and those two gods created one god, and that one god created this universe. If you look at the chain, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and it ends. What do you think about this kind of chain?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Why? But you said that it should stop somewhere, and I stopped that. And you said that there must be someone who's pushing the domino. Okay, there is one god who's pushing the domino, but its purpose was to create two gods. That was
Because
all the purpose.
you are trying to actually influence the infinite recognition paradox, which is actually have been debated a lot by the scientists. Because there's have to be the concept of the necessary
Yes.
being.
Yeah. I did it. I accepted what you offered to me. And I imagined a necessary being, the first God, who's creating two other gods. That God
Yeah,
was the
look,
necessary start.
the idea that one God was created by another two God, okay, two gods suggests that multiple gods, but then it's lead to like contradictions. If those two gods could
What?
create another God, that means that they have the power over the one that have created the universe, making them superior. But the
So,
true God must be absolute, meaning that there's no
the
higher
true God.
authority than the creator himself. And then actually, it's more like a theological answer. It must be monotheistic
What
or
does it
like
mean, true God, Loki?
true God means all powerful. There's no higher authority above him. There's nothing above him and everything under him. Like
Okay,
you
no
try to
problem,
have
no
the
problem,
hell.
no problem, no problem. Okay, no problem. So let's suppose my belief, that imaginary belief, I mean, I just made it up, okay? There is
Okay.
one God which started everything, but his purpose was to create two gods, that was all. And those two gods also created two gods. Their purpose was just creating two other gods. They did it, but those two gods created only one God. And that God said, no, I'm not going to create gods. I will create universes. And that God is all the authority on those universes. The other gods, they don't care about what he did. And they were like, okay, we don't care. We wanted to create gods, we did it. And you wanted to create universes, and you did it. That's okay, no problem. And let's suppose
Yeah,
we are
it's
in such a universe that a God created us, but you don't want to call it God. You're saying that because it had a cause. Those two other gods, even the other two gods, and the last God. And that last one who started this chain is the true God. That's what you're saying to me, right?
no. I'm gonna tell you why.
No?
For example, you're saying that the first God, let's call him God number one, created one and created two gods. You said right?
Yeah,
The two gods created another two or four.
two.
Okay, so God one, God two gods two, and two three. This is the
One,
thing.
two,
God one
two,
have
one.
superior. Yeah, God one have superiority on the second two because he created them. He can erase them if you want. He have the power to do it. And the second row have the same power over the third. And the third, even that he created the universe, he doesn't have the same power as the first and the second. So who should we worship? Who should we actually lead? And the same
Yeah,
paradox is going to be,
yeah. I'm
let's
asking.
say that
I'm telling you which one to worship. You should worship the last one because he created the universe and everything inside the universe.
then I can worship the first one.
He even created afterlife. And the first one doesn't care about this universe. Doesn't care at all.
Why does have to be that?
Why? That's a question which you don't
Well,
know
I
the
don't.
answer. Like we don't
No,
know
you don't
how the universe
understand.
started expanding.
In the idea to apply your theory, you have to support it by the evidence of why there's have to be that. I am
uh,
applying to you that
big,
I'm applying to
why?
you the theory.
With your
My
reasoning,
theory
there
is
must be a starting point which I offered you that fits. So there's a necessary existence, the first God, and this God is
what
all
is the necessary
powerful.
of existence? What is the necessary existence for the first God?
What? Why it's the first
Then
necessary
the
existence?
necessary the necessary being, which mean he have a he's created a purpose
Yeah, he created two
for him.
gods. That was the purpose of that first
Yeah,
necessary
it
being.
have to be the idea of unnecessary being. That means something we rely on him. Then
No, you
why he
don't
was
rely
just
on him.
created
No, no,
people?
no. You rely on the last God because the last God created you and every other thing, the universe, and even afterlife. And the first God and second gods and the third gods, they don't care at all about this universe. They don't care. They don't care. They're happy for what they did. The first God created two gods, and that God is happy because of that. It was its purpose. Two gods created other two gods, that was their purpose. And those two gods created one God, that was their purpose, and they're happy. And they don't care what the last God did. He stopped the chain, by the way. That was his purpose. He said, oh, no, I'm not going to create other gods, because if I create other gods, they will keep creating other gods probably. And maybe he got bored of this chain. And he said, I want to create universes. I want to put humans, animals inside in it, and many other things. So you're saying, wait, I should worship the first God, but the first God even doesn't care about you.
It's also
And the
actually
last God
coming.
will put you into hell or heaven. And you say, wait, still I should care about the first God. But the first God doesn't care about you.
It's also that doesn't make sense by the idea that the God,
Why it doesn't make
the
sense?
God has to be the true God, have to be and must be
True
the
God.
uncaused.
Yeah, the first one, if you say the first one is the true God, yeah, that's uncaused. No problem. And you still want to worship the first one, even if he doesn't care about you, doesn't care about the universe, and doesn't care about the afterlife of you. But the last one is the creator of this universe, the last one is the sustainer of this universe, and the last one is the sustainer of afterlife. And you're saying, no, I don't worship him, I don't care about him. And I don't
It's
know how you can do
you.
that.
With all respect, but you are really conflicting something here, because I'm gonna tell you, there's multiple God is created, conflicted equally.
Why?
That is a problem,
No, you're not.
because
No. What's your evidence? What's your argument?
the argument itself that the name God itself is the all absolute.
The
You
all
created
absolute.
six.
It's just a name. It's just a
No,
name.
no.
It's just a concept.
God isn't a name. When you give a name, it's more like Jesus, Allah, in those names. God is more like a term. Term is for the all absolute, the all powerful, the almighty, the all seeing, the uncaused, the caused, and
Okay.
everything.
That's a
So
definition of a
yeah, that's
concept.
the definition of the term itself. So when you
Yeah.
say there's five gods, that's actually contradict the term itself.
Contradict the term.
That's yeah, God isn't a name; it's a term. It's a term for the unbeing. He's not a being. He's the creator. He's the almighty, the all seeing, the all knowledge, the all smart, the.
Okay. No.
He
Okay. So let's suppose the first one was like that, and he created two other beings. You don't want to call them God. Okay. I agree.
okay.
What are they? And they created other two
They are
beings.
beings.
They're also so
They are
powerful. And by the way, they're also all knowing, and they're also all powerful. They can create anything they want out of nothing, because that's how the previous beings, let's say,
so.
created them in that way. So still, we don't want to call them gods. And the last one, okay, it's not a god, but he can also create anything he wants. All powerful in that sense, all knowing in that sense. How we should call them? Do you have any other name for them?
Beings, because they are created. You are
Okay.
conflicting the term. They are created, so they are
Okay. So you want
beings.
to worship
That's
something, you want to call it God, but
I'm not worshiping something. I'm worshiping the
no.
first guy.
Yeah, the first guy who didn't create you, who doesn't care about you, who doesn't have anything with your afterlife. You want to worship the first one. Why you do
So
that?
I'm not. I'm Muslim. I don't do that. But in a sense, when
Would you
you
do
actually
that?
applied
If
all of
that was
that,
the case, would you do that? Which one would
if
you
that was the
worship?
case, if that was the case of God, actually the one who actually created everything, he wouldn't care. The second one would care. I wouldn't actually care to
You wouldn't
believe.
worship the last being? Don't say God, okay? I'm
Well,
following what you're saying.
did he send the revelation? Did he send
Yeah, he sent
the holy
revelations, he
books?
created afterlife and everything. in this
So,
universe. The universe itself
um,
has been created by that being also.
okay, I'm gonna worship
But
him.
it's not necessary being, because it has a creator, even two creators, not only one, two creators it has.
So,
And those two creators also have two creatures, and those two creators have only one creator, which is the necessary existence, and which is the one you called God. Even if he doesn't care about the universe, he didn't create the universe, he didn't create you, he doesn't care about you. So what I'm trying to say here, such a chain doesn't contradict each other. It's possible. If one super powerful being exists, then the other one, and I accept your argument, which is there must be a necessary, all-powerful, all-knowing being. Okay, no problem, no problem. I accept that.
yeah, but
But my
here's the problem.
concept, my belief, doesn't contradict anything that you ask from me.
Yes, okay.
So,
But in the same sense, I have a question. Why my story doesn't align with yours?
your story is okay to me, Loki. I can believe in one God. I can believe in even Allah. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is
Okay.
I don't have good evidence for such a concept, such a being. Because when you say there must be something, a start, I say, okay, no problem. Maybe this universe is start. I don't have a problem with that. But you have a problem. You're the one who has a problem with that. And when someone say, okay, wait. One God created this universe. Okay, yeah, maybe that's the case. But how can I believe in that? Like, I need really good evidence for that. And other people can say, oh, wait, 5 gods created this universe together. Okay, no problem. But where's the evidence? Someone can say 1 million gods or beings, let's say, created this universe. Okay, no problem at all. Where's the evidence? So all of them are, to me, okay. But I wouldn't even say I believe that the universe doesn't have a cause. I don't believe in that also. Because I don't know. Maybe there is a cause, maybe there are many causes of this universe. Maybe there are many intelligent causes of this universe. Or maybe there are billions of causes of this universe, but they're not intelligent. Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
let's approach it.
sorry, Loki. I said 20
Yeah.
minutes, but it's nearly 40 minutes. But thanks
Yeah,
for the
it's okay.
conversation. You're so polite.
Yeah, it was a fun debate.
Yeah, it's not always fun, unfortunately. But yeah, this one was good.
Yeah, look, I hate raging debates where someone casts the other and this and no, it's logical, okay?
You may hate this table time to time then.
Yeah, I debate a lot. Science, religion, I debate a lot.
Oh, okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Cool. That's cool. So, yeah, you may visit this
All right.
table if you want. We are creating this table frequently.
Yeah, I will be soon. Anyway, I have to go. I have to pray.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. Take care.